Welcome to the Sands Show. I'm Tori Sands. Of course, we are here in the midst of, we had a very heated conversation about prison and the death penalty and whether or not it's an easier way out if you get sentenced to death, or, you know, if it's more punishable if you, like, spend the rest of your life in prison. And Geronimo, you had a little comment to say about that.
Just one thing. Now, the son himself, he told his father, so he was seeking some type of forgiveness, and he felt horrible about what he did. So we supposedly live in this Christian country, which is total BS if you ask me. But it's like, you know, where does forgiveness come in when it comes to, like, you know, executing someone?
Your own child, especially.
Yeah, and this is about the
That's just a philosophical
the father
question.
that
Yes.
basically took his son's life because he raped his half sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really crazy. And that happened in Detroit.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Highland Park.
Okay. Highland
But
Park.
then I don't blame the father for doing what he did either. But
I understand, and I just want to touch on this.
Okay.
I understand where I understand the father's frustration, the family's frustration, period. But at the same time, and what C. Hall was saying earlier, was it really worth? I mean, did you really have to take the child out there, declothe him, embarrass him, degrade him even more after he already told you what he did?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember hearing reports of saying the father didn't know what to do. Well, there was many more options. There was many different roads he could have took. Yeah. Versus shooting your child. I mean, I just don't think. Yeah, I mean, I understand he was caught up in the moment, but really, your child?
We said, and I'm sorry to really touch on this, but we did say you never know a person's journey to how they get there. You never know how the child got to where he was, basically. Why did he touch the child? You know, the other little girl. And we didn't know how we kind of know how the father got to where he was, but we really don't know how the father got to. We don't know his history of anything could have made him snap. I could have dropped a pin and it could have made him snap. So we really don't know a person's history in their journey.
You don't know if the little boy was molested himself.
Exactly. So we really don't know, but we just, you know, want to say that the end thing is never violence. It's always think and then react. Don't react and then think. Exactly. And that
kind of leads us to our next topic, right?
Yeah, it leads us to our next topic about prison. Well, it really doesn't, but it's still concerning with prison.
It was a nice try.
Yeah. There's I guess there's a lot of different things that go on in prison, but you know, this is something I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to STDs and, you know, such. Yes. We have a lot of loved ones that are in jail, you know, in prison. Some people are, you know, like serving a life sentence. Some people are going to get out in the next 5-10 years or whatever.
Or 14.
Or 14, yeah.
Like my cousin.
Well, I need to know, what do you guys think about condoms and whether or not they should be distributed in prison? Like, because would that decrease the HIV, STI infection transmissions and all that stuff?
I heard a really freaky story, and I'm sorry, I think I heard it on, like I was watching TLC or something. They have all these really freaky stories. Mm-hmm. And they were using potato chip bags as condoms. Yeah. And
Saran wrap?
And
grocery bags.
Yes, and it really caught me off guard because I know that men are a little more prone to, you know, really want, and women can really reserve that. But it really freaked me out when they said potato chip bags. So I think I'm kind of for the condom thing because potato chip bags.
That seems like it would hurt.
No,
about that.
Like, I mean, not only
and this was on TLC where they were saying, and this was a topic. Seriously, this was on TLC. They did a whole documentary on sexually transmitted diseases in prison.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for safe sex, so I believe that, you know, if that's going to be a way for them to, you know, stop something that is so widespread, such as HIV, such as AIDS, you know, other diseases,
at least
I'm all for it.
Well, let me just say here,
the most effective way.
Let me just say here, Vermont and Mississippi currently have programs allowing condom distribution in state prisons, and Mississippi limited programs. They have limited programs aimed at preventing unwanted pregnancies during conjugal visits rather than prevention of HIV. Distribution of condoms in prison is one of the many issues over which are legal and public health interest conflicts. Now, I want to know, being that people are, like if they do decide that they're going to do this in prisons, do you think that this is going to promote consensual sex or rape?
Now, you know what? I will say this. Doing that, I think that's a political move. The thing is first, we all know, we probably all seen the episode of Lock Up, like I said, we all probably know somebody that's incarcerated.
Yeah.
It is against the rules to have sex in the jail.
But
everybody knows that.
Or
But the
any
thing is,
sexual
realistic,
contact.
right, exactly. It's supposed to be against the rules. They don't promote it, they don't want it. However, realistically, and I hate to say realistically, it's not just rape, but there is consensual sex in jail. So
Horny
you
men
have
are
to
gonna fuck.
understand, I think that was a political move. I think it was kind of smart.
Yeah.
Because technically they want us be in a position to enforce the rules. That quote thing, I hate it.
Right.
But I wanted to, they try to be in a position to be able to say, hey, we are enforcing this rule. We do not condone it. But they know there is an issue with the sexually transmitted disease, with different things being spread among people. So they say, what can we do to protect but to not be behind?
Yeah.
And you know what else I was thinking when I even think about even giving out condoms in prison? I mean, that's a whole world and a society in itself.
Yeah.
This person may not want to have sex with this person unprotected. So go ahead and give them the condoms. I mean, they're going to have sex anyway.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you can't give condoms for that and then say you cannot have sex.
But
I
you
think that
can't-
they should be
but-
provided and you should be able to
But
ask for
you
one.
can't say
Maybe
not
there should
have
be a
sex.
jar.
For what though? For what? I mean,
Maybe
that's
there
like,
should be a
it's
jar at the
political
end of the
move.
lunch
Right,
counter,
right.
like when you go into the cafeteria.
grab
And that's why I
Just grab
said,
it
yeah,
if you want.
right, exactly. So it's kind of like a catch-22.
Yeah.
You kind of can't give it to them,
Exactly.
even though you want
Because
to
it's
protect
illegal.
them,
Exactly.
because
That's
then you
sex in
cannot turn around and then enforce rules.
Even though they do
you
that.
can't punish them.
Even though they do
you
that.
can act on, you can
Don't
tack
do
on
it.
time. You can put them in the hole. You can deprive them of privileges. You can't really do these things if you giving them condoms.
Which a 98%
No
tidbit
pun.
side fact. Most
Hole.
people who are in jail are used to being in jail and actually enjoy being in jail.
Yeah.
So
So they love the jail
a
sex.
cute little add-on to time is only another vacation for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
That's
Okay,
very,
now
very
you,
true.
uh,
Study done.
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're
But-
they like it.
But you know what? The thing is that a lot of these women out here, a lot of women, they have boyfriends or husbands that have been in jail and stuff. I think it's a wonderful idea if they do have condoms in jail, because you never know. I mean, because these guys a lot of them are getting STDs from having sex in jail and
I always
HIV,
want
and
to know
they're
if a
coming
man has
out.
been in jail, for
Yeah.
a lot of years. I know guys who've been locked down. I met a guy, he was in prison for 25 years. And the first thing I was, how did you relieve your frustration? Who
25 years.
was braiding your hair?
Right, and a lot of times.
And what hairs will they braid?
And you know what? And that leads.
And
look,
I
you know
wasn't
what?
even trying to be funny,
Yep.
because I do know
Yep.
men in jail.
Very, very
And that
I'm just
leads to
saying,
double
I don't
standards.
know any men that braids
Yeah.
hair outside of jail.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I do.
apparently,
Yeah. And and that leads to double
Well,
standards.
so
and
seriously.
that leads to double standards, because a lot of times the guys, they're so machismo, they don't want to tell you that a guy braided their hair, because
Where
of
was
the
no
society
women
that we are. And,
I know,
yeah,
I
they
know
that,
Pookie
right.
and Tyrone was braiding your hair.
You
Yeah.
know what? Okay, here's the big thing too. If you give a condom in jail, and you know that there's two sides. There's a men's side, all men's side, right? There's a woman's side. Well, you have this big societal thing on gays and lesbians, right? So you're giving them condoms in jail on the all men's side. You're giving them condoms in jail on the all women's side.
Why would you give them on the
So-
all women's side?
Just
Go
listen.
listen.
Okay.
On the all men's side, you're giving them condoms. So you're breaking away from that societal gay thing, right? You're giving them condoms to say it's okay to be
Sexually active.
sexually active.
Amongst yourselves.
And right.
Amongst
And then
yourselves.
you giving them condoms on the other side. It's okay
Okay. Well, you know
to
what?
do this.
We're gonna finish this conversation because we got to wrap up for just a second. We'll be right back. You guys at home, YouTube, Facebook, make sure you chime in on this. Put your comments down there below this video. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, you can also upload videos of yourself and tell us what you think about it. We'll be right back with more on this discussion right here at The Sand Show.
Subscribe.